Twin flames are agreements you have with specific people to come into your life and help you with specific things in order to learn something in the physical, to graduate something energetically and heal something from a past timeline or lifetime or something like this. So there is also free will, meaning that you will have to want to fulfill the agreement because it's agreements you made before incarnating in this physical life, into this physical vessel. These agreements can be physical or can be energetic. You can have a physical person coming into your life and do this, or you can have one of their spiritual aspects working with you if you're not ready to engage physically with it. So it can happen during dream time, or it can happen energetically through like a spirit guide or a higher self, or an agreement you made which is energetic, etheric. It can be in a physical body, that person, that relationship as a partner, or through your spirit guides, your higher selves, your other dimensional versions, your angels in a way, to provide you with information or with the energy that you need in order to do this yourself, to integrate something from within yourself. And it's always benevolent, it's always heart-centered. It's yourself, your other dimensional versions that are physical and also non-physical. So when I made the YouTube video about the soul agreements and the boundaries, it was related to my twin flame. So we had an agreement for him to help me with something, but he decided not to fulfill the agreement with me. He has a free will to do so, but because there was something for me to learn from this experience, now he has to go through the same experience as me so that he can see what breaking the agreement meant for both of us. The importance of having compassion, the importance of coming together and working with that person, and the importance of unity rather than separation. Because if you break an agreement, it means you just don't want to help. You don't want to step into your purpose. You don't want to do the right thing. You will say there's not right and wrong thing. Yes, in a way, but this means you have the ability to choose anything and learn from that experience. There is cause and effect in everything, especially if you are a light worker, an empath, someone who feels energies. You have the ability to help others because you have these gifts. Boundaries are important because when you meet your twin flame, when you meet those people, usually there is a very deep soul connection, and they feel like home. So it's hard for you to let go if there is something in imbalance that the other person needs to heal within themselves. It's like living in the same house with other people. There's time where you need your alone time to rebalance yourself, recalibrate, ground yourself, feel more yourself, and you be in your body. But the boundaries are important because you have to be able to tune into yourself, right? So just like living with other people, you need your alone time to find yourself, to come back into center and then go back and engage with your housemates, roommates. So it's exactly like that when it comes to the twin flames. Speak your truth and then work with the other person to heal, to both of us, to heal ourselves together. Boundaries are important because they're not only important for you to feel free, but it's also important for the other person to have this time to be able to reflect and see what they're doing and see what's taking place in their physical lives, because we have to zoom in from the physical to feel more of what's there, and what we're learning and how we're behaving. This is important in all relationships, not just the twin flames. But I'm saying if you have a twin flame, which is a karmic connection, to learn something, to graduate something, to heal something traumatic from this lifetime or other lifetimes. So this is a twin flame. But you can also replay the same things through a connection that is not a twin flame, that is just a person, because we all have these traits in our DNA that we need to heal from our ancestors or from ourselves or whatever it is. We all have these traits. So it doesn't mean because it's not a twin flame that you don't have to work on it or that is something special. Twin flames, and archetypes and all these things, they are responsible for a larger group of people, for the collective groups to be able to heal themselves individually according to archetype or according to energy or according to life lesson. The twin flames get activated not just for themselves, but for a larger group of people or a larger group of the collective consciousness. And each of us have specific gifts and abilities that assist in many levels and layers of reality, both physically and energetically, through what we carry as a frequency. This is much bigger than our physical minds and brains can fathom, because this doesn't come from the physical body or the physical dimension. This is a limited dimension in a way. So it comes from source energy, it comes from our source. We also have these physical vessels to experience the physical. It doesn't mean that we're always aware of what is taking place energetically or how these things work. But if we take a long time and if we learn how to connect with our energy, our chi, which is within our bone marrow, we can learn to decode information and see how energy works and how it relates to life, how it reflects and how it projects through its own mechanism, which is also connected to sacred geometry, because everything is geometry. Everything is a fractal, and it fractals itself from the original geometric patterns that create the whole. So this is also the original creator of the soul, or that mechanism who creates incarnations and archetypes and all these cycles and time and whatever it is. I don't want to put a name on it because it doesn't have a name. It's infinite, omnipotent, omnipresent. So source, energy, God, goddess, whatever you want to call this. It doesn't change what it is. You just give it different names. So it's all love, and creates life, provides life, nurtures the creation. So just like, which is the feminine frequency. The masculine frequency is to create mechanisms, to create systems to assist with the feminine and the masculine together. So which is also connected to our brains, like the feminine and the masculine side, the yin and the yang, just like the battery. So it's a magnetism. We are electromagnetic. We are energy, like our thoughts are electric and our feelings are magnetic. So we have this electromagnetic field around us that is connected to our heart center, and it radiates from the heart center. It's also called the Taurus energy of the heart scientifically. So I'm not going to go into detail on that. You can check links yourself. You can Google this if you're not already familiar with what this is. But we're much more than just characters in a sim city. We have source energy running through our bodies, and we can use our bodies to tap into that energy. Through my personal connection with my body and with my abilities, I decoded some things that I call techniques that help me to work with different layers of self and different parts of the body, different ways, and working with the sacred geometry within the body and the DNA and the reality as one, to decode this information from within myself. And I wrote a book with the techniques of how I perceive this information through my personal experience. And we learn how to work with our body. We learn how to use the body. Nutrition plays an important role. Our exercise, our sun charging, our communication, our thought patterns, our belief systems play a huge role on this, and our mindset, our focus. So this is why it's important to learn how to work with all the things that make us ourselves, and learn how to correct things and imbalances, how to work with the metabolism, and how to work with our environment, our energy, how to charge our energy, how to protect our energy, our space, and also the importance of our space, not just as a house, but also as an energy, and to learn how to also clean our space and simplify our space so that we can create more space to experience and expand in the space and feel the space. So it's also energetic space. The more you learn how physicality can affect the energy and how the energy can affect the physicality, it's all interconnected, it's all one. So this is how it all works in many different levels. And it's always, if we are being too noisy, and if we are always on autopilot and talking and doing things, and we never take the time to ground or disconnect or unplug, we never connect to that source of energy, because it's the quiet, and it's through peace and quietness and stillness that we find this. When you become more still, the more you feel when it comes to energy. So this is how it works. There are multiple realities, multiple frequencies, waves of energy and frequency and sound, and we're not always aware of all these things, but we can be if we want to. And this is how we grow our extrasensory abilities. Sometimes it comes naturally and you're not even aware of it. We all have telepathic abilities. We can all tap into those things, but we also have to clear the self, the organism, the diet, many different things, and to be more calm in our bodies and our nervous system. The more you work with these things, the more you assist the body provides back, the energy provides back, and you raise your frequency. The more you work with this, and the more you learn how to do things and also not do things in a balanced way, you learn how to feel more, you raise the frequency, you raise your processing speed, and you perceive more things. It's a training. It needs balance. You mustn't always be very focused on, oh, now I'm feeling this, but learning how to pedal, but then stop and enjoy the ride, and just don't overthink things, don't overdo things. Just learn how to find balance, and this is how to center yourself through both polarities, to find the center, which is also physical, mental, and spiritual. It's all one. It's all DNA. And we have many strands of DNA that are activating now with the solar flashes, the activity of the sun, the things that are happening energetically. We are doing this as one, as a solar system, as a planet. We are literally going through a huge transformation, both in the physical, in the mental, in the spiritual, and also in the collective as a planet, as a solar system. Our sun is changing. This is why this is taking place. Our planet is changing. Everything is changing and is moving into a higher plane of existence. And this is because we are adjusting timelines to prevent things from happening in the future. We came back from the future so that we can all have the opportunity to learn from what happened in the past, how this hybrid program works, how to learn how to work together and not allow our differences to separate us. And this is related to many different races and many different polarities that are participating in this game. And through our DNA, we have many aspects of many beings in the multiverse. We have the light side and the night side. We have the yin and the yang. We have the positive and the negative in this physical dimension. in this universe, right? Galaxy. So some races don't really work together, and they have beef with each other, just like we have beef with other people. But the importance here is how to come together, and that's why we are human hybrids. We have DNA from many different races and polarities, and we are the balancing mechanism of those two, because we can be in a physical and integrate the physical and the energetic into the physical, into the heart center and into the mind. The conscious integration of higher self into the lower self, and raising in frequency to meet in the middle. So we are grabbing the lower aspects of self and things that have been imprisoned in this physical dimension by processing them in our lives, in our bodies, in our minds, in our hearts, and coming up in frequency and dragging them with us, integrating them in our DNA, because they are a part of us. So some of us came back to do just that. But we all have different gifts, different ways of processing, different ways of perceiving and growing and evolving, because we're all different, but also we're all the same. We're all one. We work in the same way, but we are consisted of many different flavors, colors, many different rays of frequency, many different frequencies, many different systems. And yeah, hopefully that makes sense. So there is nothing negative about it. It's all a test, it's all a game, it's all a learning experience, but we're also correcting things from the past that we've participated in or our ancestors participated in, which is both for this dimension, this earthly experience, but also in other parallel lifetimes where the frequency was different, where it wasn't this planet. There were galactic wars that we lost our home, we lost our planet. Some of us are from Sirius, from the Pleiades, from the Lyran star system, from many different star systems, and we all have this within us, and that's why we're here, to learn the cause and effect of our actions, both that we did but also that have been done with us. We can empathize with the other person through the physical experience by not knowing what polarity they are, but we can go through the same experience that they've caused to us or that we've caused to them, so that we can learn how it truly means to not do this again, and to come from our hearts and to not separate, and to see everybody as self, because we are one,